What exactly is it that makes a baseball game exciting? There's a lot that can be said in answer to that question, but at the end of the day, we all know it's offense. Whether it's a home run or a stolen base, good offense always gets the crowd on their feet and makes a game more engaging. A batting order operating efficiently gives us the action we often crave when watching sports. But how exactly does offense work in baseball? What are the rules that define how a batter and base runner operate? Welcome back to the Bad Baseball Fan for part 2 of What is Baseball. Let's learn about batting and base running. Baseball is a team sport, but one that is constantly homed in on one-on-one matchups between the pitcher and batter. As mentioned in part 1, at the base level, the pitcher's job is to get the batter out, and the batter's job is to get on base. This all revolves around the pitcher delivering pitches to a catcher behind home plate and focused on an area around the plate called the strike zone. The batter stands in one of two batter's boxes on each side of the plate, depending on if they're left or right-handed, and either does or does not attempt to hit the pitches. The strike zone, according to MLB.com, is the area over home plate from the midpoint between a batter's shoulders and the top of the uniform pants when the batter is in his stance and prepared to swing at a pitched ball, and a point just below the knees. Pitches thrown within this zone are called strikes, and those outside of the zone are called balls. To keep the game competitive and efficient, each at-bat is allowed a maximum of 3 strikes or 4 balls. A neutral official, called an umpire, stands behind the catcher and determines if pitches are balls or strikes. When a pitcher achieves 3 strikes on a batter, the batter is called out. When the pitcher misses the strike zone and pitches 4 balls, the batter earns a base on balls, also known as a walk. Walks are free passes to first base. Similar to walks, but not technically walks, are hit by pitches. This is when a pitch is thrown and hits the batter. In these instances, the batter is allowed to take first base as well. With me so far? Awesome. Walks and hit by pitches are just 2 of the 7 ways for a batter to reach base safely. Of the 5 other ways to reach base, hits are the most common. A base hit in baseball is when a batter hits a ball in between the foul lines to a place in which the defense cannot be reasonably expected to make an out. There are 4 types of hits, depending on the number of bases gained on the hit. They are a single, a double, a triple, and a home run, where you get to round the bases and score off of one swing. There are 2 types of home runs. The most common is achieved when a batter hits a ball that clears the outfield fence and in play. The second is far rarer and occurs when a batter puts a ball in play and circles the base paths before the defense can reasonably get them out. Another somewhat common way for a batter to reach base is an error made by the defense. This is when the defense makes a mistake on a ball in play, and that mistake leads to the defense failing to record an out that you can reasonably assume should have been recorded. The other 3 ways of getting on base will be discussed in part 3, as they pertain more to defense and defensive terminology. Going forward, it is also important to note the difference between balls hit in play or out of play. A ball in play is a ball hit off the bat that lands anywhere on the field itself. Any part of the field, even foul territory, is technically in play. This is how a fielder can catch a ball to make an out in foul territory, though that will be discussed in the next part. Balls hit out of play refer to batted balls that land anywhere beyond the boundaries of the field itself. This generally refers to foul balls that land in the stands or in the dugout, anywhere a fielder is incapable of making a play due to the boundaries of the field ending. With that in mind, let's have a quick sidebar on terminology regarding batted balls. When a batter hits a ball on the ground, it's referred to as a ground ball. When the ball is hit relatively high in the air, it's called a fly ball. If a batter hits a ball and it maintains a low launch angle but does not hit the ground, it's called a line drive. And if a batter gets under the ball and hits it nearly straight into the air, it's called a pop-up. Balls that are hit into foul territory are called foul balls and count as a strike on the batter's count. That is, until there are 2 strikes. a batter cannot have strike 3 called because of a foul ball directly. You will often see a batter fight off pitches as foul balls in order to keep an at-bat alive with 2 strikes. As mentioned in Part 1, the foul lines dictate what is fair and foul territory, but it should be noted that the lines themselves, despite their name, are in fair territory. Regarding what is and isn't a foul ball, for ground balls, in order to be called fair, they must cross the 90-foot threshold that is first or third base in fair territory. Each base is completely in fair territory. Thus, if a ball is hit down the line and strikes the base, it is a fair ball. For any ball that remains off the ground until it passes the bags, it must land in fair territory. Remember, the lines themselves are in fair territory, so if the ball lands on any part of the foul line, it will be called fair. Now that we have a little better understanding of batters, their roles, and the terms used regarding them, let's dip our toes into base running. Once a batter reaches base, he takes on the moniker base runner. The base runner's job is to carefully work their way around the bases without being recorded out and score a run for their team. Only one base runner can occupy a base at a time. The easiest way for base runners to advance are on balls that are hit in play and that contact the ground by the batter, though they are free to attempt to move to the next base at virtually any time. We see this in certain situations, such as the pitcher throwing a wild pitch that the catcher cannot haul in. This usually gives a base runner a safe enough amount of time to advance without being recorded out. Often, a base runner attempts to move to the next base during the pitcher's delivery of the pitch to the plate. When successful, this is a stolen base. Having a deeper knowledge on both batters and base runners, let's explore what kind of special equipment offensive players use to help them with their craft. We discussed the use of both bats and batting helmets in Part 1, so we won't retread that ground here. But past that fundamental equipment, there are several other accessories that batters and base runners use. First and foremost, batters often use batting gloves to give them a better grip on the bat. If a batter doesn't like to wear gloves, they will often use some kind of grip tape or something like rosin or pine tar on the bat for grip instead. Batters sometimes also like to wear both elbow guards and shin guards to protect themselves from errant pitches or glancing foul balls. And on the base running end, players have recently become privy to wearing sliding mitts to protect their hands while sliding into base. Batting gloves are leather gloves for the hand. As mentioned earlier, they give a batter significantly more grip with their bat, but they are also often padded to protect the hands from wild pitches and mishit balls. Some batters prefer to not wear gloves, and instead often choose to use pine tar or rosin mixed with the liquid to create better grip. Elbow and shin guards are padded accessories that use Velcro to wrap around the batter's lead elbow and either the inside or outside of their lead foot. Sliding mitts, the new kid on the block, are large padded mitts that base runners wear to protect their hands while sliding. Base runners often slide into base headfirst to avoid an out and can easily have their fingers trapped on the base itself, under the fielder's spikes, and other such things. Due to their protective abilities, these are gaining a tremendous amount of popularity among professional and youth baseball players. Now that we've touched on the basics of offense in baseball, it's time to wrap this part up and move on to pitching and fielding. Just like in Part 1, if you think I missed anything important, please leave it in the comments. Baseball is beautifully complex, and is a rather difficult sport for one man to break down. So at the end of the day, this will be a huge communal effort to help spread knowledge and awareness of the greatest sport on earth. Remember, if you like baseball, especially if you're new to it, like this video and subscribe for Part 3.